Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is fantastic. I'm so excited. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. We are very, very excited to share with you a little bit of insider information about the Lakehead Life and Student Success at Lakehead University. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get the show on the road, shall we? Sounds good to me. Amazing. So tonight, as you can see, hopefully, you are all muted except for the panelists this evening. And that doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. So please, we encourage you to ask your questions in the Q&A on the bottom taskbar on your screen. That way, multiple people will be able to see those questions and answer them accordingly. We do also have the chat feature, which we will be using to post different resources, some contact information. So keep an eye out for that as well. But please, we do want to hear your questions, and we do want to make sure that we get everything answered for you tonight. I will also say for those attending tonight that this is a general information session, and that we ask that you do not include any personal information, names, tuition amounts, accessibility needs, disabilities hidden or seen in any of the forums tonight. We will happily reach out to you one-on-one and discuss whatever it is that you need, but we do ask that you do not post that in any forum this evening. We'll happily provide you with some resources to allow you to connect with us on a more personal level so we can get everything that you need sorted out. Okie dokie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Before we get into the nitty-gritty tonight, we do want to acknowledge that Lakehead University respectfully acknowledges its campuses are located on the traditional lands of Indigenous peoples. Lakehead Thunder Bay is located on the traditional lands of Fort William First Nation, signatory to the Robinson Treaty of 1850. Lakehead Aurelia is located on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe. The Anishinaabe include the Ojibwe, the Attatawa, and the Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. Lakehead University acknowledges the history that many nations hold in the areas around our campuses and is committed to a relationship with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples based on the principles of mutual trust, respect, reciprocity, and collaboration in the spirit of reconciliation. I also want to mention quickly that this session tonight is being recorded. My name is Rebecca. I am the admission recruitment advisor for Lakehead University, one of two, which is fantastic. This evening, I am joined by my fabulous co-host, Julia, who is the recruitment and events coordinator. We also have tonight Dr. Jessica Lovett, who is the director of career services and co-op. We also have the lovely Nancy Cahill, who is the manager of student accessibility services. And last but not least, we have Juliana, who is your student success advisor. So if there's anything that you folks need specifically this evening pertaining to one or more of these topics that we're going to go through, then please drop that in the chat and we will absolutely figure things out for you, get some questions answered. Now, Jessica, before we get started, I know that I'm sure you, as much as myself, are curious about a few different things about who we have with us tonight. And so if my lovely co-host Julie is able to post the poll, we want to know where you're attending from. Is it Simcoe or Thunder Bay? So you're around Lakehead? Are you in the GTA? Are you somewhere completely different within Ontario, Canada, or international? Just a few more folks. Oh, you guys are so speedy. I love this. Look at that. Wow, 8 out of 15 just in Ontario, not even around campuses. That is cool. Wicked. Pretty good turnout. Wow, Ontario. Loving that. Fantastic. All right, we will end this poll and give a quick share of the results. 19 out of 20. Not too shabby, folks. Way to go. Amazing. All right. And then we also want to know what best describes you. Are you a citizen? Are you an international student living in Canada? Or are you an international student living outside of Canada? 14, 15, so we're almost there. Oh, one international outside of Canada. Fantastic. Oh my goodness. We're getting there. And anybody? Oh, 18. Magic. 18. Can we get to 19 people? That's okay. All right. Ooh, 20. Way to go, folks. Amazing. Okay. one more question, and then I promise we will get the show on the road here. We would like to know who is attending with you tonight. Are we alone? Do we have a pet? If so, be specific about the pets because we love animals. What do we think? What do we think? Do we have a supporter? Perhaps. If not, that's okay. And by that, I mean, if we can't get the poll up, that's okay too. We already know a lot about you. Just kidding. Amazing. Okay, well, Julie must be tired, and that's okay. Oh, there it is. Amazing. Okay, one last poll, folks, and then I promise we'll get started. Ooh, a pet. Love it. Me, myself, and I. Lovely. Same. Oh, we have a few supporters. Fantastic. Amazing. Wow, you guys were fast with this one. Me, myself, and I for the win. Way to go. Me too. Woot, woot. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating in that. We really appreciate it. We always like to get to know you as much as we can with no cameras and no audio. So thank you very much. All right, now let's get into the cool stuff. First up tonight, we have Jessica to speak about career services and co-op. So please, without further ado, take it away, my dear. Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, everybody, and thanks for sharing a little bit with those polls. It really does help us know who we're speaking with a little bit. My name is Jessica Lovett. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Director of Career Services and Co-op for Lakehead University at both campuses. So I'm personally associated on campus at the Aurelia campus, but I work with a team in career services at Thunder Bay and Aurelia campus. And what we do is we help students connect the dots between what you're learning in classroom to what you can do outside of school in your career coming up and also your employment opportunities during your studies. We run the Career Zone, um, which offers a series of in-person and online supports, including opportunities to explore the labor market and different career paths that are out there, opportunities to explore your own interests and to help you identify your transferable skills. So we will also, as you get a little bit further along in your career, support you with job search strategies, interview techniques, resume writing, all sorts of good stuff that you'll need in order to land your summer, your part-time, your full-time graduate opportunities. And you can find what you need in the Career Zone. You can make an appointment with us for in-person advising, or you can drop in for scheduled times to get help with any of those quick questions that maybe don't need a full appointment, but you just need a little bit of tips or supports to point you in the right direction. We also maintain a lot of resources on our website. I'll give you that link on the next slide. And over the year, we offer great career-focused events like career fairs, volunteer fairs, information sessions, and all sorts of networking opportunities to help you build your professional network. The department also supports students who are in cooperative education programs, and we have more than 27 of those at Lakehead. Co-op is a highly structured experience in which students will alternate between academic terms and work terms. And depending on your program, your work term might be a short work term, 4 months long, or you might do a couple work terms in a row and do 8 months, 12 months, or even 16 months. And altogether, programs will have different requirements for the number of work terms that you would take in order to get the co-op designation on your final degree. Co-op is optional for most programs at Lakehead. So if you're not sure whether or not you're interested in taking advantage of a program, if it has a co-op option, come in and chat with us and we'll explain how the program works and a lot of the many benefits associated with taking co-op as part of your studies. You may be in a program that doesn't include co-op, and I want you to know that if that's the case, you will still have opportunities to explore your essential skills for employment after graduation. All of our programs are highly experiential, and many of them offer alternative work experiences, such as a field placement or an internship. And you can learn more about all of these options and find a lot of on-demand resources on our website at www.lakeheadu.ca/careerzone. So moving on, let's talk about the transition into university. Orientation is going to be your introduction and your official welcome to Lakehead in our communities of Thunder Bay and Aurelia. Our orientation programming will help ensure a successful academic, social, and personal transition for you to your university experience. It covers information like getting to know your Lakehead family, tips and tricks for what to expect and how to be successful. It'll help you familiarize yourself with student services and mental health resources, get you connected to the resource people for financial aid and career services like those who work in the team that I support. Our Desire to Learn, or D2L platform, also called My Course Link, has an online orientation module in which all incoming students will be automatically registered. This will provide tutorials and information to navigate the various Lakehead tools needed for schooling, information on the various supports and services, and connection points for students to meet each other and get connected individually. We also have our fall orientation activities, which offers lots of different programs and fun experiences to help you build community and familiarize yourself with the university. So even though a lot of the orientation activities are optional, we really strongly encourage you to plan to arrive on campus in time to participate in orientation. You won't regret it. You could meet some of the people that become your people for the next however many years it takes as you continue on your academic journey. So we're going to talk a little bit next about staying connected with us. So on this page, you can find some handles for different social media sites where you'll find a whole bunch of information coming up about opportunities to connect with Lakehead Life. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Depending on which campus you are going to be a student on, select one or the other. And we can't wait to meet you, to see you in the fall, and we look forward to connecting with you not just in social media, but in person as orientation activities kick up later on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jessica. I have an interesting question if you don't mind. I'm curious about some of the more unique co-ops that you have been made aware of that students have chosen to go into in their respective programs. Is there anything like cool and unique that you've helped with that maybe a lot of students don't think of right off the bat?
Yeah, I think so. First of all, we have more than 5,000 different employer partners. So depending on where the students want to go and the types of industries that they're interested in working with, I and my colleague Caitlin Reeves, who is the co-op advisor for all students in co-op, will work with you to help you find an opportunity that excites you. Some of the ones that I think students don't always realize are as a result of some of the technology changes that have come up during the pandemic. For instance, we have a great partnership with OpenText that does all virtual internships. And so students can work with OpenText remotely. And other major partners include organizations like Honda. And Honda has a cool co-op experience where a student can actually go from 4 months by 4 months in different units of the plant so that by the time they're done their co-op, they've seen the car auto manufacturing process from start to finish. It's super cool. Those are just a few on the tech and manufacturing side, but we also have business co-op, and students can go anywhere from that from that academic basis, not for profit, for profit, government. So the options are really, really wide. I'm not sure if this is answering your question, but we've got some great opportunities for students who are interested in co-op.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And we do have a question here that is asking for a little bit more information regarding co-op if their program does not offer it. Can you provide a little bit of information about how a student can get involved in their community or perhaps in their industry while they're still studying?
Absolutely. So have no fear. If your program does not include co-op, we are still in your corner. Career Services is here for you. So connect. What I would recommend you do, no matter what your program is pop into the career zone in your first couple weeks. You don't have to wait till you're graduating to start getting connected with employment opportunities, and chat with us about your interests. And we'll work with you to help you build your network. We hold a lot of events on campus for all students, not just for co-op. And we have a lot of relationships with employers in the community who are looking for part-time workers. Summer opportunities are another good time to build your career experiences. And many programs also offer internship options or have a field placement. So depending on the program that you've been accepted to, and I'm sorry, I can't see the chat right now, I might be able to connect you with the right person in your faculty who leads career-related education as part of the course curriculum. So you can always contact me and my team, and I'll drop some contact information into the chat to help you with that. And then we'll connect you with the right person according to your program of interest. But no matter what, even if you're not in co-op, Lakehead is going to help you build your career readiness. Just come and see us. Career Services is here exactly for that reason.
Amazing, thank you. And one more question, Jessica, before we move on here is someone's asking specifically about the nursing program. Now, nursing does have clinical placements, but is there something that students can do perhaps over the summer to build their skills?
Oh, the nursing clinical placements are so exciting. They're not administered from my department, but they're really great. And you're going to get started in placement experiences quite early, which is a real benefit for nurses, because you get to experience the real environment early on in your program, which is wonderful for choosing career direction. Over the summer, I would encourage you to keep doing what you're likely already doing. So get involved as a volunteer in a local organization of some kind. Hospitals and long-term care homes, other social work settings, they all have opportunities for people who are interested in the helping profession to assist as volunteers. So that might be something you could try in the summer. But it's also okay for you to wait till September and let the professionals in your program really give you the foundation, and lead you into success there. If you want to reach out to me, I'll connect you with the placement coordinator for nursing, and you can ask any questions you have ahead of time. There may be some requirements for you in order to become placement ready, and the program is the best source of information in order to tell you when you should begin some of those pre-placement requirements.
Amazing, Jessica. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of your input tonight. Jessica will be sticking around, folks. So if you do have any specific co-op or career questions, shoot them in the Q&A, and I'm sure Jessica would love to answer those individually for you. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rebecca.
No worries. Up next, we have Juliana, who is a student success advisor. Now, again, please be mindful that we don't post any personal stories or questions. We will be behind the scenes answering those questions for you, and Juliana will be happy to answer more individualized questions at a later time. So, Juliana, take it away. Thank you.
Hey everybody, so I saw there that you have a question for orientation. So we are the orientation people. So I'm gonna put in the chat the link to go to the orientation webpage and when all the events are. We have a calendar for Thunder Bay, another for Aurelia, because they are in different places for sure. So you will find everything that is being already organized and registered there. And if you have any questions, I will give you the information when we finish this part of the session. So as I said, we are the Student Success Center. So we are in charge of you to come to university, help you with the orientation and transition, and also to have a success path when you are in the university. So we have four kind of like main topics that we treat. So the first one is orientation. The second one is my support. I will talk a little bit more about moving forward, but my support is mainly a program when if you don't know where to go or which department to address, you go to my support, you ask us what you need, and we will direct you wherever you need and which department or which person you need to talk. We also have the academic support zone, and that's the main thing that we have because it's really important. We work there with academic skills. We have tutoring and writing support. And most of all our services there are for free. They are included in your tuition. You don't have to pay more. But we have a specific courses, tutoring that are in a director. Some of them have some charge. They are like a small amount of charge. So that's to make you aware. Like most of the tutoring is more like general courses for the faculties and programs, mainly for first year. When you go further and further, there are specific courses that requires more attention. So for those, maybe you will have and you will find in that tutoring director. And then we have the leadership development program. It's a program that we have. And when you sign up, we do workshops in order for you to and help you to develop those skills as a leader. And also we have a lot of opportunities when you can volunteer. So moving forward, the next slide, we're going to talk about My Support program. So as I said, it's a program when you go and you find the form. I will show you in the next one in a bit how to find it. You just go and it's a Google form. You just sign all the things that you need. You just register your name and which department or what topic do you want to address. And then we will answer either email or by phone. In that way, you get all the information you need. So in the next slide, sorry. So you have two options how to connect with My Support. So first one, you can go to lakeheadu.ca/My Support, and then you can click on connect with me to My Support team, and then you will have the form right away. Or the second option is to go to my portal account using your Lakehead user and password. And then you navigate the menu up until you find My Support, and then you will get the address to the form. So either way, the form will be found and it's easy. We will like answer kind of like the same day or maybe the next day. Next slide. Perfect. And then we have this orientation and student experience. So what I talk about the calendar and what I give you the link is because we have different programming for each campus. In Thunder Bay, we have 6 weeks programming. In Aurelia, we have 4 to 5 weeks, but all of them are really important and are really enriched for you guys. It is organized. First week is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of activities in both campuses, kind of giving you a really good welcome and helping you to navigate around campus. Second week is going to be focused more about your academic part because you have to finish registration, accommodating your classrooms. So that is kind of like how the calendar in both, even if it's different activities, in both gonna look like. The third week is going to be connecting with the community when you are going to belong. So either it's going to be in Thunder Bay or Aurelia. And then the rest of the weeks are going to be more oriented to get to know the campus and all the services that we have around. So why we do orientation, because we want you to build community, to get to know new people, to prepare academically, because we wanted you to know where are the services, are your reach. Also to familiarize yourself with the campus. We have campus tours in both campuses. And they get you to every spot, but the main thing is they get you to study spots that are really cool. They are run by students, so they are going to show you also their favorite parts of the university. We focus on your well-being, so everything is going to be kind of like having fun, having information, so it's kind of like a mixture and a balance at the same time. Take care of your student business. We want you to get like direction you in the way you need to get your student card, to get everything you need to just go ahead in your term and be successful. Build your future and make social connections. As I said, build your community and connecting with other people, not only new friends, but also faculty members and staff. For the next slide. So yeah, and we want you to be involved in this and participate in the events. There are going to be a lot of events. For now, in Aurelia, we have kind of like 30 events registered, and for Thunder Bay, we have more than 50. So we highly recommend you to go to that link, the events calendar, and see what is already there. If they have a form, if you have to register in the form, because some of them has limited spots. So go there and check them out. We are also going to have a lot of connections of different departments in the university. So you are going to know LUSU, that is our student union. You're going to get to know their clubs, their societies. Also, we're going to have athletics and the intramurals and recreation programs. Student appreciation days, they go all the way to the term, either fall and winter. We have the leadership program, as I told you already. We are exploring Thunder Bay and Aurelia, so we have a really good activity that is the downtown adventure in both cities, that we are going to explore both downtowns and get to know businesses, people, community. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities on campus and off campus for both campuses as well. So be connected with the Level Up program, and we have engaging workshops, either if it's with the leadership program or with the on-campus program as well. The next slide. So, and then this is the other part that is really important for us, that is the academic support zone. In the academic support zone, you are going to find time management workshops, groups, and tutors, reading, note, and taking. Sometimes when you come, first weeks are going to be a little bit overwhelming, getting to know how to read an article or taking notes in your class. We have people that can teach you, that gives you a lot of like tips, and also they have workshops for that. So go also in our SSC, you're gonna see in the last, when you can contact us, you can go there and you will find all the services, the exam, test, and preparation. We also have kind of like groups of each faculty and some programs, and they go together to prepare for their exams, normally with the students that are way ahead of you, that help you with some tips on how to go to exams and how to face like a multiple choice exam or an essay exam, different type of exams. So that is really good place to go. And also the study skills and the tutoring that I already told. We have in this moment 4 tutors in Aurelia and 9 tutors in Thunder Bay. And we have like in the fall even more, that they are in charge of a lot of the topics and courses. We have one from each faculty, and they are like really good students that are really prepared. And Clara, that is our coordinator in that area, she's not only a professor, but she's only really good in all the academic areas. So she's really good at connecting and helping you and advising you in everything you need in that part. So next slide. So as I say, we have the free program-based drop-in group tutoring, connect and learn from the upper year students. And then we have the tutor directory that I told you. They are private tutoring, so sometimes they have some charge. What we recommend normally is go to the academic support zone first. The Thunder Bay is located in the library, 2nd floor. The Aurelia one is located also in the library, kind of in a common space when they are located. And then with the academic coordinator, academic support zone coordinator, you can finally decide if you need a general tutor or any specific tutor before you go to that directory. That is kind of like a last resource that we also have, but we don't recommend you to go straight ahead to that one. And student leadership. So I run this program and I'm in love with this program. So it's the Level Up Leadership Program. It gives you the opportunity not only to meet people, to get connected with people that thinks exactly like you sometimes, but it's also helping you to develop a lot of things that in the classroom are not going to be developed, and is more focused in the soft skills and in the personal skills that you are also going to use in your work. So what we actually do is workshops during the year. There are different topics. We have also kind of activities when we meet and we interact with other departments and clubs in the university. In that way, you get to know more about how to be a leader. And then we have volunteer opportunities that not only connect you with the Lakehead community, students, staff, and faculty, but also off-campus opportunities, and here in Thunder Bay and also in Aurelia, to connect you with the community. They are really awesome opportunities. Like, for example, now we have the Wake the Giant opportunity here in Thunder Bay. So there is a lot of Lakehead students going to the Wake the Giant, help out and organize everything. And also it gives you a co-curricular record. So what is that? The co-curricular record helps you when you are going to the professional life to show how in your student life, you don't only was like focused on academic part, but also to develop you as a person. So it is a really good opportunity and an awesome program.
Hi, Juliana, I have a question that it might be great to answer it live here.
Of course.
And the person has asked if the leadership program is available regardless of program chosen.
Yes, it is open for everybody. We have 3 intakes, that is fall, winter, and spring, summer. Why we have those 3 intakes is because we do the workshops and we do a welcome kind of like activity to get to know the students, to give you all the requirements that you need to fulfill the program, to get your certificate as well. So now it is open all year. And then in this moment, it's open to register for everybody. And then in August, we will reach to you, and then we'll start like writing to you for the next steps up until the end of September, because we will start workshops in October and November. So yeah, go to the webpage, you will have it at the end, or register with the QR code you have there in the corner. It's open for everybody. Yeah, and I think the last one. Yeah, so this is how you can reach us in Thunder Bay and in Aurelia. These are our emails, our phones, and our offices, and how you can locate us. Feel free to write any of your questions. We are going to give you everything you need. We will contact you. This is kind of the general one, and we will contact you with the specific areas you need, either if it's for the Level Up program or for the academic support zone. So give us all your information, and we will contact you with everything for sure. I don't know if is there any other questions there.
Fantastic. That was awesome, Juliana. Thank you so much. There are a few questions in the Q&A. If you want to take care of those and just type those out, that's probably easier
Perfect.
regarding the questions. But thank you so much. That was fantastic. It's really amazing to know that there's so many options for our students to get involved, as well as to get different opportunities. So thank you again. We really do appreciate that. Next, we have the Student Accessibility Services. So Nancy, take it away, please. We would love to hear a little bit about how we can get more accommodated during our program.
Well, thanks so much, Rebecca, and thanks for everybody for joining us tonight. Before we start, I just wanted to mention my name is Nancy Cahill, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the manager of Student Accessibility Services at Lakehead University on both the Aurelia and the Thunder Bay campuses. I'm currently working out of the Thunder Bay campus. I want to share a descriptive introduction of myself with you tonight to ensure access for all. I'm a white middle-aged woman with short, straight, light brown hair. I'm wearing brown rimmed glasses and a blue Lakehead University t-shirt. My background tonight is of a pride flag with the Lakehead University crest. I also want to remind everyone that closed captioning is available in the Zoom presentation today, so please enable it on your Zoom screen if you require it. So Student Accessibility Services, I'm going to share a little bit of information about this. Well, this is our team. As I mentioned, I did a descriptive introduction of myself tonight. And we have a team members in Thunder Bay and Aurelia, and both campuses are there. You can move to the next slide, just Rebecca, if you don't mind. That's perfect. So what does Student Accessibility Services do? We set up accommodations for students with permanent or temporary disabilities. There's a number of disabilities or medical conditions that these can include, from ADHD, learning disabilities, mental health disabilities, mobility impairments, medical conditions, which can be temporary or permanent, and even concussions or ABIs. So there's a lot of different types of disabilities that we will provide, and we set up accommodations to remove the barriers that students may experience in their learning because of a disability or medical condition. So it's interesting to know that a lot of disabilities are invisible. The majority of the students who register with Student Accessibility Services have an invisible disability. And like I mentioned, they could include ADHD, learning disabilities, many different things. And we're all, and as I mentioned, we're all going to experience a temporary or we may experience a temporary disability through our lifetime. And the statistics show that 1 in 5 Canadians between the age of 15 and 64 report having a disability at some point in their life. Thank you, Rebecca. So oftentimes students who have disabilities or medical conditions, and when they're experiencing it in their education, we put in academic accommodations to remove the barriers that students are experiencing. Students who register with Student Accessibility Services, their documentation is confidential. Registering with our office is not reflected on any official university records or transcripts. And our office, Student Accessibility Services, is guided by the Ontario Human Rights Commission in regard to the provision of accommodations, along with Lakehead University policies and procedures as well. We want to foster a campus and community that's inclusive for all individuals. So to set up accommodations in post-secondary, it's dependent on medical documentation that that students do provide us. This can look at really different from individual to individual. It could be a psychoeducational assessment, a neurological report. Sometimes students come with an IEP from their high school that they've been, they've used to support them throughout their education. We can look at that. There may be IPRC minutes that are helpful as well. You may have a medical documentation form from your doctor. Student Accessibility Services has a medical documentation form that we share with students, and it's that was very helpful for us in setting up accommodations. We just want students to know that we're able to help you determine what kind of documentation you require. If you are not sure, if you're not sure what you have is appropriate, we're happy to discuss that and help you get that documentation to support accommodations.
Nancy, just a quick question before we move on there. If a student has an IEP, where do they send them for Thunder Bay and Orillia, or is it to the same place?
Yeah, so it can go to Thunder Bay. I'm gonna put my the SAS email address in our confidential email in the chat, and then students can send that. And what we would do is if we receive something from a student, we would reach back out to them and set up a time for them to meet with an advisor in Thunder Bay or Orillia, whichever campus they're on, because we'll determine that, and then our main office will arrange a meeting for the students. So it can go to sas@lakeheadu.ca. I'm just going to put that in the chat, and that's where any documentation can be sent. It's our confidential email address, and then we keep that in a confidential file for the student. So that's where it can go.
Thank you, Nancy.
No problem, no problem. As we were talking about documentation, it's important that documentation is up to date and current. So oftentimes students will come and they may have outdated documentation. We are happy to help students, get documentation, but it's important to know that documentation should not be much older than 4 years, unless it was completed after the age of 18. So a lot of times students coming to post-secondary have outdated documentation, but we can help get more updated documentation with the student. And it's they may have been identified in an IEP in high school, and that's helpful for us to set up some temporary accommodations, but we really would be looking for more updated documentation as we move forward as a student moves forward in their education. because the most important thing out of the documentation is identifying some functional limitations. So as I mentioned, if your documentation isn't up to date, or you're being in the process of being assessed, getting a new assessment, or being diagnosed, getting a new diagnosis, we set up interim accommodations for students pending the receipt of updated documentation. So we don't want students to worry about that. We want them to know, we'll help them, we'll wait for that updated documentation to come in, or we'll help them acquire new documentation if they need it. We may refer them for an assessment if that's required. And as I mentioned, if you're not sure about the documentation, SAS is happy to help and guide you to the right place. So when I mentioned earlier documentation, the importance of documentation, one thing that the documentation identifies is functional limitations. In post-secondary education, we really don't look at a diagnosis of a disability or medical condition. We really look for the functional limitations and how the disability impacts you in your education. So oftentimes documentation will identify functional limitations that students may experience in the educational environment, and this helps us determine appropriate academic accommodations. So accommodations can look different from one individual to another. We have some, some accommodations might be extra time for tests or exams, alternate format textbook, where students may require PDF versions of their textbooks because of a print disability. There might be assignment extensions. Some students may use assistive technology. They may have a distraction-reduced environment. There's numerous accommodations, and they're really based on the student's disability-related condition and the functional limitations they're experiencing, as I mentioned previously. So in student accessibility services, our accessibility advisors set up accommodations for students in their classes. They facilitate that process. But then we do have also support for students with learning strategies and assistive technology. Oftentimes students will require some extra support with learning strategies such as time management skills or note-taking techniques, exam taking strategies, study skills, and all of the accessibility advisors work with students closely on that, working on that with the students. And we also have assistive technology support. So a lot of students who have accommodations may be using some assistive software programs like voice-to-text programs or text-to-voice programs. There's numerous educational applications that are helpful for students in accessing course notes. A lot of our students use Glean software, which is another assistive software program, and we provide our technologists can help support students on how to use some of that technology. In addition to the assistive technologists, we also work with students. We do know students come and they may be eligible for different bursaries or grants to support their disability-related condition through the provision of services and support. So some students if you're eligible for OSAP, you may be eligible for the bursary for students with disabilities. This helps fund equipment, specialized equipment or services like tutoring for students who are identified as a student with a disability. And I'm happy to, I meet with students on a regular basis to explore funding options for students. So it's important to know that there's some student responsibilities that when coming into post-secondary, we want to make sure that students really understand that all of the contact with student accessibility services is student initiated. Accommodations won't be put in place unless a student meets with an accessibility advisor and student accessibility services, because it's important. You have to give us permission to release those accommodations, to those confidential accommodations to your faculty, and and this has to be done each semester. So it's important for students to know they have an active role in the accommodation process, completing their intakes at the beginning of each semester, communicating with their advisors and student accessibility services, and booking tests and exams, and reviewing any emails from student accessibility services. It's very important to be aware of that. That's it's a big responsibility, but important. You want to be involved in this process. So the next steps: contact our office. As I mentioned, I put our main email address in the chat. You know, if you have questions and you're wondering, you know, what you need to do next, we're happy. My accessibility advisors are happy to meet with you to set up we meet virtually by Zoom or by phone, whatever works best, and start early. We encourage students to reach out as soon as possible, because then we can take a look at the documentation you have. You know, maybe talk about what documentation is required, and then discuss some accommodations that would be appropriate, would be supported by your documentation and your functional limitations. And then look at any academic or technology needs that may be required. Explore the bursary options that might be available as well. And this initial appointment may get things starting, and you may need another meeting to formalize your accommodations, but reaching out at first is really important to get that process started. And we're happy to do that over the summer with you to get it started for sure. So students can email sas@lakeheadu.ca to book an appointment. We have an Aurelia email address too, or access at Lakehead. We're encouraging students to, you know, remember SAS@Lakehead and email that email address with any questions, whether it's for Thunder Bay or Aurelia campus, to make it as easy as possible for students to make sure we reach out. But I'm happy to answer any questions, even privately through the chat. If any individuals want to chat about anything, I'm happy to do that. And as I mentioned, I encourage you to reach out as soon as possible if you need to discuss supports and services available through student accessibility services. Thank you, Rebecca.
Fantastic. Thank you. Julia, you want to take it away?
Sure. This is a time where we are going to answer any and all questions pertaining to anything that we spoke about tonight. So I see we have a few in there. Not sure if I feel like both of those are not, we're not going to do those two live, but if you have any that you have, please throw them in the question and answer chat and we will get to them. I'm just going to leave a few moments to maybe get a few more questions. Next steps, when it comes to next steps, let's see what we have to look forward to. There are a few important dates that we would like to identify. And I'm not sure what just happened with the screen, but I'm sure you can see them now. We have our entrance bursaries deadline, which is June 30th. Our fall winter registration and residence fees are due August 15th. So make note of that. We have our exciting residence move-in day, which is August 29th. And the first day of class, September 3rd. If you haven't had a chance to visit or tour campus, we would be happy to have you on either the Thunder Bay or Aurelia campus. So be sure to book a tour, use the QR code or go onto our website and fill out the quick Google form, and we would be happy to have you. And then finally, just make sure to connect with us socially through a few of our accounts at myLakehead for a majority of them. Our Facebook is at Lakehead University, Twitter at myLakehead, and then finally the YouTube channel, Lakehead University, where the other webinars will be posted. So we thank you for attending tonight. Like I said, we'll leave a few minutes here just to quickly throw in any questions you might have. We want to make sure that we're answering everything that is on your mind. And we're here in real time and have a few people that can answer those questions. But it looks like a lot have been answered. I know my colleague Rebecca is responding to one more right now. And I see a few more. So we're just going to give a chance to answer them.
Amazing. If any one of our panelists here wants to answer this, someone is asking for support for LGBT students. So I'm not sure if that's in regards to Juliana and this fun stuff. So maybe Juliana can speak to a little bit maybe about specific clubs or activities that we have for LGBT students.
Sure. So for the LGBTQ plus community, we have different programs, and we have the Pride Central that is actually belongs to LUSU. They run a lot of activities during the year. They have support, they have counseling, they have all these spaces to go and feel comfortable, but also all our events are inclusive for everybody, and all our spaces welcome everybody. But if you are looking for something specific, I highly recommend you to go to Pride Central. They are an amazing center to go to talk, to find your thrive. They have a lot of activities during the year, and we as a Student Success Center, we support them a lot. Like this month, because of Pride Month, we are going to have a Black Rock Pride event on the 27th, and there is different departments join the event. And also during the year, there is a lot of things that are programming, so I highly recommend you. You will know Pride Central in the orientation days, because they are going to have tables all the time, and the people in charge of that center is going to be there for sure.
Thanks for that, Juliana.
I'm also going to post something in the chat from Student Health and Wellness as well in regards to services and supports for LGBTQ individuals.
Julia, we do have a question here for Juliana regarding the leadership program, and they're curious, as parents or guardians under any circumstance, are they allowed to be notified at all about their person who is in the leadership program?
No, that is like you sign up, it's your process. We don't have any connection with your parents, at least you authorize us to give any specific information, but it has to be you that give us that permission. We don't get in that way to connect with any parent or supporter.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any last minute questions for us? There are also some resources in the chat here that you can certainly let us know if you do have any further questions, or if there's anything specific that you'd like answered, we can absolutely help with that. Julie and I can be reached at recruit@lakeheadu.ca if you have specific questions about getting into a program, if you have specific questions about any of the fun stuff. I will let you know if you have any questions regarding registration or the status of anything, that is a question for Student Central. They could be reached at studentcentral@lakeheadu.ca. They have all the power. They have all of the administrative admissions magic that we just don't have, unfortunately. But we certainly have departments all throughout Lakehead U to make sure that you are being taken care of and that you are being seen. So please, if you do have questions, absolutely reach out. For activities, clubs, sports, anything like that, head to lakeheadu.ca. There is a tab along the top there. One of them says programs, one of them says admissions, one of them says campus events and life. So if you head to the admissions tab and under that you'll see future student events. Those are events that the recruitment team is going to be holding throughout the summer and into the school year. And then if you're looking for some extra fun stuff, maybe athletics, clubs, societies, things like that, that will be under the campus life tab at lakeheadu.ca. You are more than welcome to reach out to any of our amazing departments through Lakehead, anywhere. Aurelia, Thunder Bay, Georgian, whatever you need. Fantastic. All right. Oh, someone met me. Oh, that's so kind. Met you too. Don't know who you are, but thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. All right. And we do have one last question about residents. There is space at Thunder Bay. The Aurelia campus is at capacity starting in September. So it will depend on when you're looking to move in. We do have options for early move-in if that is a requirement for you based on your program, your living situation, things like that. You can reach out to the residence team to make sure that your move-in date is solidified whenever that happens to be. And then if you're looking to go through the summer, you certainly can reach out to the residence teams on either campus to see when you're able to move in if there's an accommodation that you need in regards to your living situation. Looks like Julia's just typing one thing out, and then I do believe that is everything. We will hang out for another minute or two. Oh, see, look at that. Okay, resident specific questions can be sent to resident specific. We can't really speak to anything regarding your move-in or your type of dorm, so we'll have to reach out specifically to the residence team for that, just because we don't really know. We don't have the ins and outs. They're the experts. So amazing, fantastic. I do want to thank Juliana, Nancy, and Jessica tonight for coming on and being our experts for the evening. We really do appreciate it. And to everybody here that has joined us for any other of these webinars, we appreciate your attendance. Thank you so much for coming. This is the last Getting Ready webinar that we're having for this season. So thank you all. We really appreciate your commitment and your participation. You will be able to find this on YouTube starting perhaps, I'm hoping by Monday. If you go onto YouTube and search in the handy dandy search bar, Lakehead University Getting Ready, you will find this webinar as well as every other webinar that we've had in the series so far. So if you want some catch up, we did one on course registration, residence, tuition, general hi, thank you, how are yous, lots of information and amazing things that are coming out of these webinar series. So again, thank you so much. And thank you to the lovely folks on this. This has been absolutely fantastic. Please reach out to us at lakeheadu.ca under the admissions tab. You can find the campus tours, you can find clubs, you can find career co-op services, anything that you're going to need. We are here to help you with that. So again, thank you all. We appreciate it and we hope you have a great night and we look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you.